This actor actually ditched Hallmark for a rival channel. Yep, let's get into the list of actors who scored some major cash to make their Hallmark exit. You might recall Jesse Metcalf as Tracy Riley, the guy from Hallmark's Chesapeake Shores, but guess what? He shook things up by stepping away from the show after rocking it for 4 seasons back in 2021. And let me tell you, he didn't do it just because. He spilled the beans to ET Online, saying, "Life's all about growth. I tend to put myself in challenging situations because I feel like that's the fastest way to grow." Who knew? Even though it caught his fans off guard, he believed that sometimes the trickiest choices are the ones that lead to the biggest personal growth. He's all about switching gears and diving into a full-blown film career. And you know what's the coolest part? He actually made it happen. He jumped into not one, but 2 fortress thrillers with big shots like Bruce Willis and Chad Michael Murray. He also showed up in Harmony from the Heart alongside fellow Hallmark grad Jessica Lowndes. And as of now, in 2023, the guy is still at it. He's knee-deep in the working on the 3rd Fortress flick. And guess what? There's a whole new film project brewing where he's a pilot starring alongside Dennis Quaid. That's some Hollywood action right there. But here's a nugget for all you Hallmark fanatics. In 2022, he gave the list a juicy scoop. He's totally down to slide back into his Chesapeake Shores shoes if Trace and Abby get that love train rolling again. He spilled the tea, saying that there was a solid plan from the books and a heap of fan wishes to see those 2 lovebirds end up together. Smart thinking, Jesse. Oh, now let's talk about money. Can you believe the guy's estimated net worth in 2023 is a cool $12 million? Cha-ching! Look at him go. He recently dished out details on his new series, Dawn. He said,
my performance on my 2 grandfathers. One particular grandfather grew up in Brooklyn. That's why I used a Brooklyn accent.
He's totally owning it, and honestly, we're stoked for him. Now, some of you may have noticed this, but Jessica Lowndes isn't exactly lighting up the Hallmark scene these days. Yep, she took a detour and ventured into other networks. Back in 2019, she rocked Over the Moon in Love, and then in 2021, she was all over Mix Up in the Mediterranean. But here's the kicker. These 2 flicks were swimming in a sea of other Christmas and rom-com movies cooked up by different studios. So the big question, is Jessica Lowndes slowly steering away from her Hallmark origins? This is where the plot thickens. And don't jump to conclusions yet. Early in 2022, Lowndes went all in with a 4-movie gig over at GAC Family. But here's where it gets interesting. She's not just starring in these films, she's also writing, directing, and even producing them. Talk about wanting to get hands-on. It seems like she's got her side set on being more involved behind the scenes, and she's doing it outside of the Hallmark realm. But guess what? She's not the first Hallmark star to make the jump over to the Great American Family. Now let's not close the book on Hallmark just yet. While some actors have waved goodbye to the network forever, Lowndes seems to be holding the door ajar for potential Hallmark adventures once her 4-film gig wraps up. She spilled the beans to the list, saying that she's in it for the long game, but hold your horses. Don't expect to see her back in Hallmark land anytime super soon. Great American Family is keeping her pretty busy. She's all gung-ho about writing too, cooking up different genres and even having some projects simmering in the GAC development plot. Now, on to the big bucks question. Just how much moolah is Jessica Lowndes rolling in? Our intel says her net worth is cruising around $6 million. And that fortune, well, it's not just dropped from the sky. This Canadian actress and singer has been hustling hard, and it's clearly paying off. Here's a glimpse of her newly released song called 88 Part 2 Summertime.
If it's fantasy, just let me dream. Stay here in this moment.
After rocking it on One Tree Hill for a solid 6 years, Hilary Burton switched gears and became a familiar face in the world of Hallmark. She took the lead in a bunch of network movies starting from 2015, like Surprised by Love and Summer Villa. Just check out her IMDb page for the lowdown. And guess what? The Hallmark chapter of her life ended in 2019. And the reason? Well, let's just say there was a bit of a tiff about who's going to be in the spotlight. Hilary took to Twitter back in December 2019 and spilled some serious tea. She laid it all out. She got the boot back in January that year. But why? Well, she had her reasons. She was all about shaking things up with some LGBTQ+ representation, throwing in an interracial couple, and going all in on a diverse cast. The higher-ups were not exactly in sync with her vision. They scribbled some notes on the script, and guess what? None of Hilary's asks made the cut. Talk about a bummer. She kept it classy though, being very polite and professional, but when they handed her the take it or leave it ultimatum, she left. Yep, she walked away from the project that she was so excited about. She waved goodbye to that paycheck too. Tough call, but she stuck to her guns. So post Hallmark, what's Hilary been up to? Well, 2021 saw her pop up in The Walking Dead TV series, alongside actor hubby Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And here's a tidbit, just a year before that in 2020, Hallmark actually dropped a movie called Wedding Every Weekend, where they finally showcased a same-sex marriage, and they kept the momentum going with The Christmas House, featuring their very first same-sex couple. Looks like they finally caught on to what she was saying, huh? But here's the freshest scoop. Hilary's on a new gig. She's co-hosting the Drama Queens podcast alongside her old One Tree Hill buddies, Sophia Bush and Bethany Joy Lenz. Talk about keeping the gang together. Here's a glimpse of the podcast.
The stuff that I was fighting about right out of the gates, like the audacity of a 20-year-old kid to be like, hi, you're wrong.
And oh, the green stuff, Hilary's net worth. It's cruising around a $6 million. Now, if you're a Hallmark fanatic, chances are you've got Daniel Leasing on your radar as Jack from the super popular series When Calls the Heart. And guess what? He was not a one-hit wonder in the Hallmark universe. Nope, he made his mark in other gigs like Christmas in Love, A December Bride, and a bunch more. But hold on, there's a twist in this Hallmark tale. Since Jack's exit in 2021, where they killed him off, Daniel Leasing hasn't appeared in any more Hallmark projects. But hey, it's all good, cause there's a story behind that exit. So here's a scoop straight from the horse's mouth, or rather his co-star, Loughlin. Leasing wrapped things up when his contract called it quits. Laurie spilled the beans to ET Online, saying it's all about the renegotiation game. You either play it or you peace out. Daniel chose the latter. The Hallmark fan was cool with it. Laurie was all hearts, saying that they love him and he's still family, no hard feelings. Fast forward a year, and Daniel's still all about that no regrets life. In an ET Online chat, he said, check this out. If I had stuck around for season 6 and all the filming, I wouldn't have met my soon-to-be wife, Nadia. Got hitched and landed where I am now, in a groove that feels just right. Talk about fate working its magic. Since bidding adieu to When Calls the Heart, Daniel's been really busy. He's flexed his acting muscles in a bunch of Great American Family Christmas movies and made appearances on shows like The Cleaning Lady, SWAT, and The Rookie. And here's the cherry on top. He's loving the new twists and turns in his career path. Looks like things are definitely looking up for this guy. Now let's talk cash. Daniel's net worth is cruising around $1 million and $5 million. Moving on, Jen Lilly, the soap sensation who rocked the screens in General Hospital and Days of Our Lives, had herself a dazzling transformation into a full Hallmark star. She lit up the screen in flicks like Snow-Kissed and USS Christmas, where she shared the limelight with Trevor Donovan, by the way. And guess what? The excitement doesn't stop there. In the tail end of 2021, she strutted her stuff in the Great American Family debut, a little gem called Royally Wrapped for Christmas. And you know what she had to say about her character? I'm totally smitten with her big heart and her creative flair. She's like a marketing genius with a dash of royal glam. Plus, there's a ball involved, and let me tell you, it's my first royal gig. She also talked about the magic of the movie to Bill Abbott and said,
there were so many scenes I loved. I think for me, one scene was when Prince Aidan and I are in the royal kitchen and I'm talking to him about making the gingerbread cookies.
Hold on to your hats, because there's more Jen Lilly magic brewing. She went ahead and sealed the deal of the year, inking a 2-year pact with Great American Family back in January 2022. And what does that mean? 4 original films are on the horizon. Bill Abbott, the head honcho at GAC Media, couldn't contain his praise. He raved about Jen's insane talent and her equally off-the-charts kindness and generosity. It's a match made in Hollywood heaven. But let's get down to the brass tacks. Jen Lilly's bank account? It's singing a sweet tune, let me tell you. According to the grand trifecta of knowledge, Wikipedia, Forbes, and Business Insider, her net worth is cruising at $5 million. But the next actress, Loughlin, the face behind many Hallmark movies and shows, found herself on the wrong side of the tracks after that whole college admissions mess. See, it wasn't her who decided to call it quits with Hallmark. Nope, the network gave her the boot after she got tangled up in that scandal back in 2019. Court records spilled the tea, with NBC News reporting that Laurie and her husband got caught red-handed in a bribery scheme, shelling out as much as $500,000 to sneak their kids into the University of Southern California. And as the dust settled, guess what? Hallmark said no thanks, and Laurie's gigs with the network was toast. Now let's backtrack a bit. Before the college scandal, Laurie was riding high in Hallmark heaven. She had been the leading lady in their movies for almost a solid decade, lighting up the screen in movies like North Pole, Open for Christmas, Homegrown Christmas, and When Calls the Heart, which even went from a TV movie to a full-blown series. That's a major Hallmark love right there. But guess what? Lori's story didn't end there. After a brief stint behind bars for her role in the scandal, she bounced back onto the small screen. She strutted her stuff in When Hope Calls, a spin-off from When Calls the Heart, and the cool twist, this show originally called Hallmark It's Home, but it packed its bags and moved over to the new network Great American Family, as Variety reported. Here's a sneak peek of the spin-off.
What's the best gift to give a friend for Christmas?
Let's review our options. Now, general rule of thumb, never give a woman a household appliance for Christmas.
Got it.
Now, let's talk Lori Loughlin's net worth. Brace yourself, because it's soaring up around $75 million. She's not just any Aunt Becky from Full House, she's Aunt Becky with a serious plush wallet. And that's all the tea for today. Stay tuned for more, and if you enjoyed today's video, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And to really show your support for us, become a member today for exclusive perks. Thanks for watching. Until next time.